Hello everyone, today is 29th of June, now it's 10 to 10 in the morning Moscow time. I'm Levan Gudadze and this is my first update for the day in which I will share all the main news that are making headlines in Russian media outlets and Russian language pages on different internet platforms. And there are quite a few very significant developments and news that I'd like to share with you for this moment, and I will start with the report of Russian Defense Ministry about Razdolovk settlement on Seversk direction. And well, according to the Defense Ministry, this settlement is under full Russian control now. I report about progress of Russian forces in Razdolovk direction yesterday and several days before, and it's official. This settlement is liberated by Russian forces. It's located on the southern side of the Seversk. That's being said, let's talk about some other news also. And RIA Novosti's report that at this moment, when I'm recording this update, air defense systems are active in Sevastopol. Governor of the region, Mikhail Razvazhayev, shared information with the public on his Telegram channel. At this point, what is known is that at least 2 aerial targets were destroyed there over the aquatory of the Sevastopol. Although we have some additional reports that maybe as a result of failing debris from the missiles, or maybe because some aerial targets managed to pass through air defense systems, but 3 civilians were wounded in Sevastopol. This is a preliminary data, by the way. This is happening right now as I'm recording this update. Of course, during the day I will share on my Telegram channel all the additional information that will be available. Also, by the way, when it comes to work of air defense systems during the night time, according to TASS news agency, Russian air defense systems shut down 6 Ukrainian drones over the Tver, Bryansk, Belgorod regions, and also over the Crimea. And unfortunately, one drone managed to bypass air defense systems, as I understand, in Kursk region. And as a result of strike of that drone, 5 civilians died, among them 2 children. Yet another war crime committed by Kiev regime. They are targeting civilians on daily basis. As I said in my previous updates, by the way, because Western ruling class failed to achieve anything by political pressure on Russia, by sanctions war, by this proxy war that they are conducting against Russia, by sacrificing Ukraine. There is a high risk that Western ruling class will now actively use as a last result terrorist attacks on Russia. And it seems like that's exactly the direction that Western ruling class and their assets are moving, because in last several days we clearly see significant increase in terrorist attacks on Russia. In last several weeks, I will say, if not months. Step by step, but Western secret services, Western ruling classes increasing terrorist attacks on Russia, and today is no exception, because this is clearly terrorist attack when they are intentionally targeting civilians and trying to achieve some political goals by terrorizing people. This is a description of the terrorism, by the way. So Western ruling class is a terrorist, are terrorists, and the collective West is a terrorist states. Like it or not, but Western states, they are terrorist states. They are participating in terrorist activity. And Western societies should know this, although unfortunately, of course, Western media will say nothing, literally nothing about, for example, this terrorist attack when 5 civilians were killed, among them 2 children. As they said nothing about previous terrorist attack, for example, on Sevastopol. Vast majority of Western so-called media ignored that terrorist attack on the beach of Sevastopol when 4 civilians were killed, including 2 children, and more than 150 civilians were wounded. Western media, so-called media, ignored that. And today, as you see, another terrorist attack on Sevastopol. And at this point, what we know is that 3 civilians are injured as a result of this terrorist attack. But this is preliminary data. This attack happened just now as I start recording this video. And of course, I will, as I said, I will share additional information during the day on my Telegram channel. So I'm afraid this is exactly the case. And the Western ruling class is now focused on terrorist attacks on Russia. And that's why, by the way, this Times newspaper in UK published calls to kill Russians from CIA asset Ponomarev, which is insane when media is giving platform to terrorists to call for killings of their politicians, public figures, and civilians. But as I said, man, there is too many indicators that Western ruling class is focused now on terrorist attacks on Russia, and that's why Times, British newspaper, most likely was ordered to give a platform to this sick individual that works for CIA, Ponomarev, who was calling openly through this media to kill Russian civilians, and he intends to even pressure leaders of the Western states. He's planning to send some initiatives to the NATO summit, and I wouldn't be surprised at all, by the way, if during the NATO summit in US, representatives of the NATO countries will really discuss possibilities of authorizing terrorist attacks on Russia and killings of the Russian civilians, politicians, public figures, journalists, and so on. That's a level of deterioration of their collective West, by the way, and that's why I'm saying that Western collective West is a terrorist states. They all are terrorist states, no exceptions, by the way. All of them are terrorist states, with no exceptions, and Western ruling elites are the terrorists. Evil force in this world. Anyways, let's continue. And I don't know when Western societies will wake up and realize that that their elites are most evil force that there is on this planet. But one day they will have this realization, and that's going to be very painful, by the way. Because the majority of the societies in the West probably are in this seeing world through this розовые очки, how should I say it? Through these pink glasses, when everything is wonderful and beautiful, and their political elites are the true leaders of their humanity. When in reality, once they take off these glasses, they will realize they are monsters, by the way. Monsters. And they turn their own countries into terrorist states. Anyways, Vzгляд newspaper is reporting that Russian air defense systems during this week shot down 2 Ukrainian MiG-29 fighter jets and about 600 Ukrainian drones. This information is based on a report of Russian Defense Ministry. Also, we have RIA Novosti's report that deputy of the official representative of the Pentagon, Sabrina Singh, commented on the tensions around US and NATO drones over the Black Sea, and she said that US will continue to operate with its drones over the international waters of the Black Sea. Okay. Not really surprising, because we all know that Western ruling class, those evil forces, they don't listen to warnings, they don't care about warnings. Only language they understand is force, and until Russia is only issuing warnings and including about this, for example, drones, and there are no follow-up steps when these drones are, for example, intercepted, neutralized, destroyed. Of course, Pentagon would not care because they don't care about warnings. And I see so many comments under my updates from members of our community when they are, you know, frustrated and it seems like demanding from me to be no more warnings from Russia because it's too much. By the way, it's not me that is issuing these warnings. I'm time to time getting frustrated also with this stuff because I know Western ruling class do not react on warnings. They don't care. But I'm reporting about it. I'm not issuing no warnings, by the way. So, you know, and I don't know, maybe press service of Russian Defense Ministry, press service of Russian Foreign Ministry, or Kremlin, administration of the president, maybe they are monitoring, and probably they are monitoring public opinion worldwide, and they are realizing that these constant warnings from Moscow, I mean, maybe no longer helpful, if those warnings ever were helpful. I don't know. Because how many warnings you're gonna give, for God's sake? At some point, even your allies will start asking questions. What the hell, man? I mean, you issued warning once, twice, like 5 times. Okay, whoever can understood that you are not happy with something and you are issuing warnings. Okay, we get that, and okay, now do something about it, or at least, stop issuing these constant warnings, at least, you know, because it's a bad optics. It frustrates people worldwide. So, yes, maybe there will be no more warnings from Russia. I don't know. I just don't know, and no one is asking my opinion, isn't it? So, yes, no surprises that Sabrina Singh, deputy of the official representative of the Pentagon, also don't care about Russian warnings, and Pentagon will of course continue to operate over the Black Sea and organize strikes on Russian civilians and continue to kill Russians as long as they can, because that's what they do, man. Western ruling class, they hate us. They want to kill us all, and they will kill as many of us as they possibly can. You know, it is what it is. I mean, there is no way around it. And historically speaking, by the way, Western elites, European elites, let's say, I mean, US is a relatively new creation. I mean, it don't really has any much of a history. I mean, 200 years, I mean, really. But when it comes to Europe, I mean, European states do have a history of centuries, in many cases for thousands of years, and at least for the last 300 to 500 years. I mean, if we analyze history, I mean, it is factual to say that Western ruling elites, they always hated us. They always hated Eastern Europe. They never see us as equal because they are, you know, racists. They are Nazis, ethno-chauvinists. That's it, really. And they prove it, by the way. There was Napoleon when he moved against the Russian Empire, against Russia, with not just French forces, but also together with Napoleon, there were forces from a bunch of other European countries. And there was also Great Patriotic War when Nazi Germany, with active support of a bunch of other European states, invaded Soviet Union. That's just historical tradition of the Western ruling class to hate Russia, hate everything about Russia, and hate Russians. And they want to kill us all. It is what it is, man. And they will continue to do so as long as they can. And warning's not gonna stop them. That's for sure. Anyways, and by the way, of course, I'm talking about elites. I'm not talking about ordinary people. Right now, unfortunately, I guess the majority of the public in European states, in collective West, probably are on the same page with their elites. And they all want to kill us all, but I believe there are informed groups of the people also in collective West, informed minority, decent minority, I will say, who are not no Russophobes, no Nazis, no crazies, and they don't want to kill nobody, no Russians, no anyone else. And one may hope that this informed minority will somehow manage to inform their fellow citizens also in time, and maybe one day Western societies in general will get rid of this Russophobia and this aggression towards us, because we done nothing to them, really. I mean, what I done to Spaniards, for example, them to hate me. I mean, really. What I done bad to Poles, for example, or what I done bad to Germans or to Brits, British people. I mean, nothing. And why should I do anything negative to anybody, really? But they still hate us, just because we are Russian citizens, man. That's all. It's tragic, man. It is what it is. Anyways, let's continue. RIA Novosti's report here that Ukraine Kyiv regime is expecting to receive some free Patriot air defense systems from NATO member states, and also Smart T air defense system, NASAMS air defense systems, IRIS-T and Gepard air defense systems from all over the NATO member states: Germany, Italy, France, Romania, US, and so on. And well, Russian military has destroyed dozens of Western-made air defense systems until now, and will destroy another whatever number of air defense systems will be delivered to Kyiv regime. That's how it's gonna be. And at some point, collective West quite effectively will be demilitarized. They will have no more air defense systems left, and many other weapon systems also to send to Kyiv regime. So if Western ruling class is focused not just on killing of Russians, but also demilitarizing Western militaries, I mean, at least in demilitarizing Western militaries, they are achieving quite significant success. They are effectively demilitarizing Western armies. And unfortunately, they are killing Russians also. They killed thousands and thousands of my fellow citizens. And for this, I would like to see neutralize their Western elites. If it was up to me, I will take out every fucking one of them. With no mercy, man. But it's not up to me, unfortunately. Anyways. And I will do it, I mean, that will be a great favor for this world. If someone will neutralize Western so-called elites, that will be a great favor for humanity, because Western ruling class is a grave danger for human civilization. They are evil force, by the way, and have to be neutralized. Humans, we have no other options here, because as long as Western ruling class exists as it is now, they will always pose a grave danger for human civilization. RIA Novosti's report here. RIA Novosti's report that Russian President Vladimir Putin spoke about necessity to start production medium and short range missiles as a response on the actions of the US. Well, I guess production of the medium and short range missiles already started, and President just announced that. Unfortunately, Moscow was naive enough to trust Washington in the early 90s and start destroying Soviet era medium great, extremely capable medium range missiles, by the way, including SS-20s, which was a crime against country and against people, I believe. Moscow should never ever agree on such stuff, but I mean, that was a different times, by the way, different times. But technology is there, scientists there, engineers there. So I'm quite sure, just give it a little time, and Russia will have a new generation of extremely capable medium and short range missiles. Also, RIA Novosti's report that, I already reported that Razdolovk is under full Russian control. Russian Defense Ministry confirmed this information. Also, RT's report that Russia-led NATO rival is ready to expand, according to Secretary General of the organization. And of course, I'm talking about CSTO, Collective Security Treaty Organization, that is built by Russia, Belarus, Kazakhstan, Kyrgyzstan, Tajikistan, and Armenia. Although Armenia probably is no longer can be seen as a true member of the CSTO, because Armenia is led by CIA assets like Pashinyan and the rest of the garbage there in the government of Armenia. And it's only a matter of time before Armenia will leave CSTO, obviously. But still, because Secretary General of the organization made statement that they are ready to expand, that means that there are countries that want to become a member of the CSTO. And okay, door is open for hopefuls. RT is reporting that, and by the way, when it comes to potential enlargement of the CSTO, there are several republics in Central Asia that join CSTO. Potentially, by the way, there's some other countries that also joined CSTO. North Korea, for example. Why not? That will definitely frustrate Western ruling class and increase cooperation between Pyongyang and Moscow and other capitals of the CSTO. This increased cooperation will be beneficial in terms of economical development of the North Korea also. And Russia is leading charge now in this regards, as I understand, to invest in North Korea and give better opportunities to North Korean people. By the way, I definitely see potential of close military cooperation between Russia and Iran, and who knows, theoretically, Iran may even consider to join, as a regional country, can consider to join a CSTO sometime in the future, not necessarily now, but in any case, I expect between Russia and Iran similar agreement to be signed as between Russia and North Korea just recently. That will, of course, significantly increase security of Iran, because if attack on Iran will be interpreted as attack on Russia, oh yeah, man, in that case, every country in the region and worldwide will think little more before attacking Iran, of course. So that may increase, obviously, security of the Iran. And there are other countries also that may join CSTO, by the way. Why not? Anyways, let's continue. RT is reporting that EU's pick for chief diplomat is a Rabid Russophobe, according to Kremlin. Well, difficult to disagree, really. Estonian Prime Minister Kaja Kallas, who was recently nominated to lead the EU's foreign policy, has a history of hostile attitude towards Russia. Kremlin spokesman Dmitry Peskov has said Russia hardliner Kallas was officially nominated to replace Joseph Borrell on Friday. Her candidacy must be approved by the newly elected European Parliament, which will convene for the first time next month. Procedure widely seen as a formality. Kallas is well known in Russia for her absolutely uncompromising and sometimes even rabid Russophobic statements, Peskov told the reporters on Friday. Peskov added that Ursula von der Leyen, who was recently nominated for a third term as the president of the European Commission, is not a proponent of the normalization of the relations between the EU and Russia. That is what we know her for, and that is how we remember her. In this sense, nothing has changed, Peskov said. So he commented on this new leaders of the EU. In case of Ursula, of course, it's old new. In case of Kallas, relatively new. And yes, I will agree with Peskov that not just Kallas, but also this Ursula Bursula washing machine is a rabid Russophobes, man, 100%. TASS news agency is also reporting that US is asking Qatar to become a mediator to assist in negotiations between Israel and Hezbollah. Well, interesting. I don't know how Doha can, the capital of Qatar, can trust Netanyahu's government or Biden's administration to agree on any mediation, but I mean, let's see. I definitely don't trust her, no Washington, no Netanyahu's government for sure, and therefore I think this is a deception operation. This is just an attempt to create illusion that Washington is for peace in the Middle East, when in reality Washington is doing exactly the opposite, creating more and more conflicts in the region, historically speaking, not just now. RT is reporting that ICC backtracks on Israel arrest warrants. What a surprise. Judges at their so-called International Criminal Court, ICC, have postponed decision on whether arrest warrant should be issued against Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu and Defense Minister Yoav Gallant over alleged war crimes in Gaza. I mean, this is a joke, by the way. Clown circus. ICC is a circus of the rabid animals, really. No respect to ICC, no respect to any of the personnel in ICC. It's fucking bitches of the Washington, man. So fuck him all. That's it. They are very quick to issue arrest warrants on anybody that Western ruling elites don't like or Western ruling elites don't support. But when it comes to Netanyahu and the defense minister of Israel, I mean, that's a whole different story. I mean, they can kill as many people as they want. They can do whatever crimes they want. But I mean, they are saints, man, because Western ruling class say so. And this ICC, this bunch of garbage individuals, these so-called judges and their prosecutors and so on, those prostitutes will, of course, say nothing and do nothing. I remind you, dear friends, that these bitches issued the arrest warrant on Russian president and the Russian ombudsman for children because Russian forces were evacuating kids from line of contact in zone of special military operation and saving their lives. And for this, for saving the lives of the children, ICC issued arrest warrant on Russian president. And same time, these criminals, by the way, these so-called judges and prosecutors in the ICC, while they perfectly well know how many civilians were intentionally killed by Netanyahu's government and IDF in Palestine, they are not in a hurry to issue any arrest warrants. And can anybody in this world, after this clear illustration of this so-called court, can anybody have any respect to this garbage circus? No, man, impossible. RT is reporting that New York Times editorial board urges Biden to quit the 2024 race. Well, okay. Biden was set up, by the way. I said it yesterday, and I think that's exactly the case, because how anybody among decision makers among Democrats could think that Biden could withstand debates. This was clearly set up to remove him, to create conditions then that he will be removed and some other candidate will be put on the ballot. And the only question now is, even though Biden camp made a statement that he will participate in a second round of the debates, according to CNN, at this point, I think main question is with whom Biden will be replaced. Yesterday, I shared my take on this situation. I mentioned few names: Michelle Obama, Gavin Newsom, or whatever the name of California governor is, and third one, Hillary Clinton. There may be some other ones also. I'm no expert in U.S. internal politics. But Biden is finished, that's for sure. He was set up, and now we see open attack on him, and they basically demands that he should quit. And probably that's what is going to happen. Anyways, let's continue. RIA Novosti is reporting that in the presidential elections in Iran, by the way, reformist Massoud Pezeshkian is leading for now, and the latest reports was that some 14 million votes were counted or something, and maybe that's it, man. Let's update information. Yes, this person, by the way, Pezeshkian, reformist. So it's reformists are seen as a more sort of liberals. Although hardly reformists can be called liberal in Iran, but they are not as conservatives, at least, than some other candidates. And this person, Pezeshkian, is leading now, and it is highly likely that he will be next president of Iran. Although, by the way, during the counting of the votes, leader was changed several times. Earlier this morning, Saida Jalili was on first place, conservative, and then Pezeshkian take over, and then, by the way, again Saida Jalili was on the first place, and now again Pezeshkian is leading. Probably before end of today, we will know more or less accurate information which one of these two received majority of the votes and will become a new president of Iran. Of course, important elections, because Iran is a major regional country, obviously. RIA Novosti is reporting that French opposition is leading in social studies, are much popular than party of the Macron. Election is going to take place in 2 days, isn't it? Tomorrow or day after. Tomorrow is elections in France. I'm not quite sure, by the way, but I guess it's tomorrow on Sunday, and it is highly likely that, according to preliminary data, Marine Le Pen's party and the coalition of the left parties will take first and second places, and party of the current President Macron will be on third place. Let's see. TASS News Agency is reporting that the head of Russian investigative committee, Alexander Bastrykin, come up with a proposal to lift moratorium on death penalty on certain crimes. Well, this topic of lifting moratorium on the death penalty is quite often becomes topic of discussion in a public, and many citizens definitely are in favor of lifting this moratorium, because there are certain crimes and that cannot be forgiven or forgotten, or not forgotten, but cannot be forgiven, and there is also no chance that whoever committed those crimes can ever deserve public trust. Usually people that committed such crimes are sent to prison forever, for life, and maybe death penalty will be more appropriate, so that public will not pay to feed those animals in a prison, and take care of their health and so on. I don't know. Let's see what kind of decisions will be made, but there is certainly crimes, terrorists, for example, that killed tens and in some cases hundreds of people, innocent civilians. I'm definitely in favor of taking them out. 100%, by the way. No mercy towards such criminals. And there are some other, of course, crimes also when death penalty will make sense, for sure. But yet again, society, I believe, is divided on this topic, and there will be discussion, and let's see what kind of final decision will be made. Or maybe there will be some referendum at some point, so that public will decide what to do. That will be the right approach, I guess, because decision is controversial. So if it was up to me, I mean, to recommend something to Russian president, I will say, you know what, why you have to make all these difficult decisions? Why you are taking on yourself all that stuff? Let's do referendum and let public decide. And if they are in favor of that penalty, then that's how it is. If they are against it, then okay, and maybe that's exactly what is going to happen. I don't know. RIA Novosti report that Armenia is planning to participate in a NATO summit in Washington in a few weeks' time. Okay, why am I not surprised, by the way? Did I mention in this update that Armenia is run by CIA assets? I guess I did, so it is the case. Armenia is run by CIA assets, and of course Pashinyan and his government will do everything to destroy relationships with Moscow and to transform Armenia into a client state of the Washington. If Armenian society is okay with this, then it's their country, their choice. So, I mean, good luck. What can I say? I believe they are mistaken But yet again, I'm not citizen of Armenia. I can only analyze the situation, but decisions have to be made by Armenian citizens. And holy moly, they are pushing their country and their future of their kids towards very difficult times, let's say. Jan Ostris report that International Monetary Fund, by the way, is once again calling Western ruling class not to steal Russian assets and not to steal profits from the Russian assets also. And you would not believe who said this this time, who is calling for restraint in this regards. Head of IMF delegation, IMF mission in Ukraine, Gavin Gray. So this guy, whoever he is, by the way, have some, nerves, because he is in Ukraine and he is calling, being high-ranking official of the IMF, International Monetary Fund, he is calling Western ruling class not to steal Russian frozen assets and not to steal profits from the Russian frozen assets for whatever reason, including to finance Kyiv regime, because that will jeopardize international financial system and banking system. And okay, I mean, this is not the first time when professional financiers are calling Western ruling elites to, act responsibly, but they're not gonna listen. Obviously, they're not gonna listen. And by the way, if it was up to me, I will recommend to Gavin Gray to leave Ukraine now, because strangely, by the way, there is too many Westerners are dying in Ukraine, especially lately, in very strange circumstances. So, if I don't know if Gavin Gray has this official of the IMF has any security, they should take him out of Ukraine immediately, because who knows, man, he might, he might be unlucky, and while he's walking on the street, something may fall down, and that's it. Or he may wake up one morning and decide that, what, he had enough, and he might hang himself. Also, stuff happens, especially in modern day Ukraine, by the way, especially with foreigners. Vzгляд newspaper is reporting that the president of Congo expressed interests of his country to join Brics. Okay, interesting, of course, and once again, this news demonstrates increased popularity of the Brics worldwide. Although, by the way, when it comes to further expansion of the Brics, Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov stated that the Brics group of nations have voted to temporarily suspend the new membership applications and focus on integrating the countries which have joined most recently. The Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov stated, and this is absolutely right decision, because yes, there is a big interest to become a member of the Brics, but at the same time, there are many issues that need to be resolved inside the Brics, including integration of the countries. And only after that, I believe Brics have to demand from applicants to conduct referendums in their countries, and their decisions to join Brics should be based on referendums. In my personal opinion, that will and referendum, which is then a result of which then is secured in, let's say, constitution or in legislation of that country, will give Brics additional guarantees that this country or that country, political elites of this country or that country are serious, and despite possible changes in a ruling party and so on, they will continue on this path of integration with the multipolar world and the Brics. So, and probably, I mean, Brics will come up with such initiative. Just give it a time. But when I read this information, I was glad, because there is no need to fast track this expansion. Brics already proved that it is immensely important for this world. So there is nothing to prove to nobody. Hard work needs to be done now, and so that this integration of their economies, cooperation will reach maximum heights. And also, by the way, Brics needs to come up with alternative financial and the banking system. This should be priority. This should be priority. So okay, that's been said. Few more news, by the way, and I will end this update. RIA Novosti's report that head of Russian Rosatom, Alexei Likhachov, stated that Republic of Congo is interested in Russian civilian nuclear technologies, and Rosatom, with cooperation with the Congolese side, is working on idea of building for Congo floating nuclear power station, which will be more suitable for Congo. It seems to be as a result of preliminary work and expertise. And who knows, maybe Congo in next several years, maybe contract will be signed between the sides, and just give it a couple of years, and Congo will receive a floating nuclear power station from Russia. And also, by the way, when it comes to Russian nuclear technologies, we have information that building of the nuclear power station in Uzbekistan will start this autumn, which is also interesting, of course, and additional confirmation of Rosatom being a leading company in civilian nuclear energy in this world. Also, by the way, Russia's Gazprom disclosed details of major new deal with China. So supplies of Russian gas to China via their Far East route will start in 2027. Gazprom CEO Alexei Miller said on Friday, according to the company's Telegram channel. The Far East route will deliver supplies of Russian natural gas from the shelf of Sakhalin Island to China, Moscow, and Beijing. Sealed agreement for additional pipeline gas deliveries via the new route in February 2023. According to Miller, the Far East route will have an annual capacity of 10 billion cubic meters. Once fully operational, their project involves the construction of the cross-border sections across the Ussuri River between the already operational Russian pipeline and Chinese city of Hulin. Well, great news, by the way, great news. Of course, 10 billion cubic meters, it's a good number, it's a good volume, but not necessarily something unseen before. When sides will agree on Power Siberia 2 pipeline, for example, that pipeline will have capacities of transporting some 40 to 50 billion cubic meters, I believe. So significantly more powerful pipeline. But still, by the way, this is success. This is success, and Russian companies are, establishing themselves on the new markets, including in the new regions of China, because I believe 10 billion cubic meters will be enough to power to power Hulin's will be enough for all the demand of this Hulin city of China. Maybe some other cities around will also receive some volumes from this 10 billion. Who knows? And there is huge potential, by the way, huge potential there. And as I said, this Brussels sanction war against Russia, by the way, will only further stimulate Russian companies to forget about the Western collective West, and they're focused on the global South, where market is unbelievable, you know, and their business can be done there with much better efficiency, let's say. And when it comes to collective West, I mean, they can trade with each other, because at some point this world will divide in these two blocks, Western bloc and the rest of the world, and you know, there might be some 1 or 2 routes for trade between these two blocks, but in general, Western countries will trade with each other, and the rest of the world will trade with each other. It's okay. I mean, as long as the current Western ruling class is in charge in the collective West, I guess collective West countries will not become a part of multipolar world. But if somehow by some miracle in 10, 15, 20 years time some adequate people will be charged in the West, then things may change. Who knows? But right now, no, because the Western countries clearly are run by evil people. I mean, there can be no doubts about it. I mean, absolute degenerates and despicable individuals are running Western world right now. 100%. There can be no doubts about that. RIA Novosti's report that, and I will end this update on this news, that according to Russian president, first half of this year, Russian economy was growing 5% of the GDP. Russian GDP was growing 5%, which is huge, by the way, which is huge. And I would not be surprised at all if in second half of the year, temps of the growth of their economy will be the same, or maybe even higher than that, because economy is overheated here, by the way, and everybody is recognizing this, and central bank is trying its best to cool down economy, at least little bit. Everything is working in full capacity, and it is absolutely not surprising that in situation when everything is working in full capacity, demand is high, trade is increasing with the rest of the world, with the exception of collective West, of course. Of course, it is understandable that the economy will grow, continue this rapid growth, and maybe we will see final number for this year 2024 on 5%. Maybe I'm too optimistic, but why not? In any case, in 2024, Russian economy will definitely grow at least 3.5%, 4%. That's my prediction. 5%. I mean, to think that it is possible to maintain this high growth rate another 6 months also. I mean, it is possible, I guess, but I don't know. 5% is really big. But 3.5, 4%, quite optimal, I will say, especially because the central bank is planning to cool down economy. Maybe interest rates will be increased here in Russia for that purposes, to cool down economy, and of course it will influence economical growth also. But the final number definitely, in my opinion, will be at least 3.5%, maybe higher, a little bit. But anyways, I will end this update now on this quite optimistic news, really. How long is this video? 54 minutes. Okay. Hopefully you will find this update interesting, informative, useful, maybe somewhat entertaining, because after all, this is the show, news show, but still show. Yes, if you find it interesting, please click that like button, leave some commentary just about anything, any topic. Let's fight back algorithm, and comments and likes are only way we can do it. And also for very same reason, if you can, please share information about my channel with your friends in real life, or on internet, on any of the platforms that you are actively using. On Facebook, by the way, you would not be able to share a link because I don't know why, but Facebook is blocking my channel. But you can share just the name of my channel, like Levan Gudadze Opinion. Search it on YouTube, and whoever interested in news from Russia and commentary, they might search it and they will find me, I guess. Anyways, if you find this channel interesting, useful, informative, if you think this channel deserves to exist in this field of news and political commentary, please consider to support my work with small donations through PayPal, Boosty, or by subscribing to my Patreon page. All the links are under this video in the description box and in the pinned comment. This is it for now. Have a great day and take care.